All right. You ready to hear about at least probably 3 of our final 5?
I will call it now. I'll put down whatever money you want. I'll mortgage this house.
Here we go. So I was lucky enough to get my hands on one of like the 2 Elijah Craig toasted barrels that one of my local liquor stores got. So this is one of my submissions. Elijah Craig toasted, as you can tell, we've consumed a decent amount of this. I did get it pretty early in the year. Great pour. I do enjoy it. Is it something I'm going to spend hours and days hunting for? Probably not, but it's a great addition to any shelf. Elijah Craig Toasted is one of my top 10 for the year. By the way, Elijah Craig, make more of these, please. Next thing. So this is a shocker to my top 10 because I'm typically not a huge fan of this product, although I have grown in my appreciation for what this product brings to the table. This is my Dickel Bottle and Bond. This is an absolutely delicious pour. I got it for about $45. I actually asked my local liquor store, hey, have you seen this? And they were like, hey, we've actually never really had anyone request that. Everyone always wants their Blanton's or their Eagle Rare or some of those things. I'm like, hey, is there any possible way we could get Dickel Bottle and Bond? I'd love to have a bottle. And sure enough, about 2 months went by, and then got the Dickel Bottle and Bond, got a call, and a wonderful $45 spent. So that made my top 10.
To point out that you and TJ did not push that forward in the March Madness Bottle and Bond bracket challenge that we did last year, but whatever.
It is a wonderful pour. It doesn't mean there aren't other pours that are better. So there you go, Mr. Bitterface.
TJ, link that video above if you want to see Charlie just walk off video, just so angry.
It was a wonderful night.
It was a great night, really, because Charlie lost legitimately to a better bourbon. So, speaking of better bourbon, Old Forester. So, Old Forester 1910, right here, has to go in my best of. I'm the Old Forester advocate. I am the 1910 advocate, and despite TJ and Charlie's constant protest that 1920 is better than 1910, our viewers continually support 1910 as a phenomenal pour. It's neck and neck, but overall, when we've done the pours and asked for comments, 1910 has edged out a lead in voting, I believe, on 2 different occasions. So, if we want to vote a third time, I thought it was twice. I don't know. It felt like 2. It was a big win. It felt like 2 wins in 1, maybe. We could do another poll on that. So, Old Forester, keep representing. I think we're going to be shocked where Old Foe 1910 ends up.
I don't think we will.
Onward to a higher proof bourbon. Notice all these bottles are decently low. I do not have the storage capacity of my my friends,
colleagues.
So colleagues, if you will, associates,
comrades.
And so I actually have to drink through my bourbon, so I have room for more bourbon because I've been designated a certain space in my house, and I can't really exceed that space, but. Hey, I get to enjoy good bourbon.
We provided you alternatives for that or ideas, and you just shot us down. The crawl space, he shed,
If we have
the crawl space, I might need to look into. I'm a little bit worried about the low temperatures in the winter, but I think that'll be okay. The he shed will cost some money, which
right. If
you build it's like then that's money I'm not spending on bourbon. So
if we have a very generous person out there that would like to have their own personal pool boy on the weekends, Brian would gladly do that for a he shed.
I thought Charlie was going to be the pool boy. No, he was hiring a pool boy.
Yes.
That's what was. Link that video. Okay, so moving on. Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. This was a pleasant surprise for the year, I think, for all of us. I think I was the first one to grab it. I think Charlie grabbed one shortly thereafter. Very impressed. Well done, Jack Daniel's, on the single barrel proof this year. These things go anywhere from about 55. I think I got mine for all the way up to 99. I saw it one place. I would not pay 99 for this, but man, if you're finding this probably in that $55 to $65 range, just grab it. You'll be happy. Drinks very well at that 125 to 130 mark, depending on your particular bottle. So I've entered that in. Then, reluctantly, these guys made me.
Oh, I know where you're going.
Enter in my Old Foe 117. Do you see how little of this Old Foe 117 there is? Yeah, like this was like pours to them. This little miniature bottle, just but it is delicious. And you know what? I'm glad to share it with friends because I constantly mooch off them, and it's just nice to feel like they're finally mooching off me. So, Old Foe 117 is absolutely amazing. Might end up in the top 5. We'll see. So, Old Foe 117, there you go. Next one, good old Maker's Mark. We talk about the FAO1, FAO2. Those are great, phenomenal pours. But Maker's Mark is doing some really good stuff. Don't overlook the Maker's Mark when it comes to other things. This is one of their private selections. This one is actually the milk chocolate truffle that they did, and it is absolutely phenomenal, as you can tell. And you're pretty much only going to find this if you actually go to Maker's Mark and get your stuff there. But it kind of has a different flavor. Really, really good. And that is kind of the entry that isn't just for the milk chocolate truffle pick, but just in those special makers picks that come out and some of those store picks and different things. They do a really good job with some of those. So that's kind of a candidate that we entered for those reasons. You probably hear the kid crying in the background right now. That is just an active part of my life, and I'm just glad it's one of our kids crying right now and not both, because that means I would be out of here, and it's that much more noise. So we always appreciate when one kid's crying instead of both, but we are very happy for both of them. Now, the next one here I'm excited about. This might also be a top 5. So if there's 3 in the top 5, Charlie and I have a little bit of a bet going on if I get 3 in the top 5. So this is a candidate for top 5 as well. This I received as a new dad gift from these gentlemen. Thank you very much. This is a Lux Row right here. Absolutely delicious. One of my biggest regrets of last year was not picking this up. And these gentlemen rectified that situation. So true friends, thank you very much. This is in the top 10.
The best bottle top in bourbon since Bardstown went crazy and got rid of their bottle topper.
Oh
yeah, Bardstown. What did you do? Why did you change your bottle tops? Like it felt like a good bottle. Just opening that topper. This topper here. I mean, this thing's like 5 pounds.
Yep.
Like I mean, honestly, it's like if you go in your kitchen, you got your bourbon there. There's an intruder in the house, and it's like, okay, I got my knives, I got my bourbon. Just take this bottle topper, chuck it at someone, it will knock them right out in a true like David Goliath style fashion. So
it's a good video idea.
It really is.
TJ, you be the mock Robert. We'll do this over the years.
Top 3 bottle caps by damage.
Exactly, man. I mean, seriously, it can do some damage. So I was hoping to get my hands on this next one before I had to send out my batch. We've heard a lot of good things about it. I've had it before. I wasn't actually able to obtain a bottle. And then pretty much like 2 days before I was needing to send out my samples, I was able to attain my first smoke wagon right here. So this is absolutely delicious. In fact, I pulled this out just for the video tonight, and I was a little disappointed in how much of this is already gone. And so this is the Smoke Wagon, unfiltered, uncut, absolutely delicious. So Smoke Wagon, a lot of hype. So I'm actually really interested to see where this actually falls at the end of the day on our rankings, and if it actually lives up to the hype or not. Then I had to throw in, no, not Henderson, but something else that is representative of my daily drinker allowance, which is right here. Evan Williams Bottle and Bond. Okay, I could have gone Wild Turkey 101. Didn't have that on the shelf because that was gone. But I had some Evan Williams Bottle and Bond here. It's delicious. Every time I pull it out, I'm just not disappointed, especially at the price point. So I'm interested to see, there are so many good bourbons that we have in this grouping of 30. And honestly, if Evan Williams makes it out of the bottom 5, that tells you something right there about how good Evan Williams Bottle and Bond is. I mean, who knows? Could it be good enough to make top 5? Is it dark horse? Probably not, or so many people are going to unsubscribe, it won't even be funny. But we might be surprised if it makes it out of the bottom 5, maybe potentially out of the bottom 10. That would truly be an underdog story of the ages, but we'll see. It's a great daily drinker, and I'm excited to see where that lands. So that's only 9 if you've been counting at home. My number 10, I actually sadly do not have with me, because I have not visited Chuck.
That's what I have.
Chuck hasn't visited me over the last almost a year. Chuck has graciously volunteered to send out a pour of my old Carter for everyone to consume after it's already been opened and consumed by TJ and Charlie. Everyone's actually had it but me.
Link that video.
Yeah, link that video for the Polar Bear Plunge for how I got that old Carter. And so yeah, I'm excited to finally try my old Carter. I don't know what number it is, but I'm excited for when I get there.
Yeah.
So those are my 10.
To be fair, that could be. I mean, you got 2 that could be top 5 because of the what is it? The Lux Row 12 and the old Carter 13. You got 2.
And Wolfo 117. I mean, he could have in there.
Oh man, you're gonna have to mortgage your house.
Hold on, and we know Chuck loves his Dickel Bottle and Bond
and Smoke Wagon.
He throws a hissy fit every time we talk about it. I mean, Smoke Wagon, can it live up to the hype? There's a chance here. Chuck put the cart before the horse here and bet and just shot his mouth off about 3 of mine not making the top 5. And my gosh, if 3 do, it's going to be a glorious day.
I'm feeling pretty confident once you look at my 10 and what TJ's already submitted, plus yours. I mean, I agree, Brian. You got some really good ones in there, some contenders. There's no way you got 3 of the top 5.
We will see, sir.
Sticking to it.
We will see. All right.
Thanks for watching. Brian, I think you got a really good list, easily obtainable by most people without a doubt, and reasonable for no matter where you are financially. If you enjoy this as a hobby, there's not a bottle you had that you really couldn't afford or get a hold of.
And I'd like to reiterate that. Like, the one splurge is the Lux Row, which I didn't even have to pay for because I got good friends. So here's the thing. If you don't have a great bourbon budget, A, build a bourbon network, and B, find friends that spend more on bourbon than you do. Like, that's the best piece of advice I could probably give a bourbon drinker is build your bourbon network,
mooch,
and find friends that buy better bourbon. Because everything else on this table, the 117 is hard to get for sure, but everything else you can get for $55 or less.
Impossible.
But to be fair, as somebody you mooch off of, to be a mooch, you have to bring something quality to the table. When I figure out what that is, I will let everyone know. but there's something. Otherwise, why would I send you?
I thought you were really going to bring this back together and like give Brian a nice pat on the back and be like, you know, Brian, we really appreciate you for this.
Oh,
That's
Chuck
the power
froze.
of bourbon. And Chuck froze. I love that face. So I'll just go.
That is a great. Yeah.
And then power of bourbon.